Today we're going to take a look at how we can edit and change some of these loop sets. Last time we discussed loops, we talked about some of them that had melodies. For instance, if I take a listen to number 2 here, this one was obviously a melody. Now that melodic loop could be hummed along with, and it would sound like this. Do 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 do. Whereas track number 6 we determined to be rhythmic because it really didn't have a melody that you could hum. In fact, you could feel a beat with it better. Some of you are probably tapping your feet or tapping your hands. Well, today we're going to discover and take a look at a new feature in Garageband that you can use to change the sounds. You still need to remember which of your loop tracks and loop sets are going to be rhythmic and which ones are melodic, because we're going to look at the individual ways that you can create your own loops. To do that, I need you to take a very close look at the upper right hand part of the screen. You're going to see on yours, right near where it gives you the battery readout, you're going to see a gear cog. That's some of the setting stuff, but right next to that, it looks like someone is doing a loop-de-loop. That loop-de-loop piece of string thing, the third option in from the right, is where we're going to go. You're going to tap on that loop, and it's going to bring you to this screen. Now, if you tap off of the screen, it's going to just close out a loop. So what I want you to do is to explore the different loop sounds. Now, it gives you a whole bunch of them here that you can scroll down, and you could scroll down through the entire set. All several hundred of them, 1,797 items. Yes, you would be freaking out if you totally did that. Instead, notice at the top of this little page here, it says instruments, genres, descriptors. What I want you to do is focus very closely on that instruments tab. You can also search for something specific like guitar or shaker if you want, but if you go and tap instruments, look at how it brings you to the different families of instruments. Now, as we've been studying these in the later grades, you will notice some of them like the string instrument family. There's also some woodwind instrument families in here as well. And yes, sadly, they mislabel woodwinds as brass as well. There's some brass instruments in the woodwinds file as well, which you can look at as well. They obviously didn't study third grade instrument families. There's also percussion instruments like the piano, mallets, drum sets, tambourine. There's a vocal section with some pre-recorded loops. And pretty much what you're going to do, each of these files is going to be a very short, maybe 2 measure, 3 or 4 second length loop that you can drop into Flavor or to add to your already loop set. So today I want you just to explore and find a couple of these. In our next lesson, the next video that I have for you, you're actually going to start dropping some of them in. The search, you could search for days and days and days, but I want you to look for a couple of different things. Look at sounds that are rhythmic based and sounds that are melodic based. Now, whenever you're dealing with vocals or woodwinds, pianos, synthesizers, strings, and sometimes even guitars, those are most often going to give you a melody, something that you can hum along with, just like with our loop tracks. The percussion instruments like the drum, the kits, percussion, shaker, conga, tambourine, bongo, those ones are going to give you more of a percussive sound or give you something that has a rhythm or a beat. So I'm going to just show you how to find 2 of my personal favorites that I'm going to use in the next lesson. You can go out and explore some other ones, and I'd love for you to find some other sounds that you enjoy. But one of my favorite is in the shaker right here, so I'm going to tap on shaker. And it's this first one right here, African Rain Kahihi. Now if I tap on that, listen to the sound. Completely rhythmic. Now notice, all I did was tap on that, the name of it, or on the little blue wave file next to it to activate the sound. That's how you can search for that one or different sounds as well. So that's how I just explore these different sounds. That one obviously is a rhythm. Now, if I were to close out of loops, I were to go back to my main screen by tapping off to the side and then go back into loops, and you're looking for different sound, it's going to show you, just like all of the GarageBand stuff, it's going to bring up the very last thing you were looking at. So if you want to see some of the other instruments, you have to go back up to the Instrument tab here and either hit the X button to clear out of your search, or just tap on that Instruments and it'll bring you back to the main instrument page. Okay? Now some of these may be grayed out. Some of them may not be accessible. I'm going to show you in a later one how to get more Apple loops. For now though, I'm going to show you how to get to my favorite woodwind instrument. As you guys remember, the woodwind instruments, there's a couple of different ones that you can have, but the saxophone is a woodwind instrument as well. And this is one of my favorite ones, the Jazz Hustle Sax #1. Another one of my favorite ones is the Cuban Con saxophone. So I want you to explore many of the other types of loops by going up here, tapping on the instruments, and just exploring different instrument files. You're going to need to have 2 favorite melodic loops and 2 favorite rhythmic loops. So perhaps you want to take a few notes on those, and I'll talk to you more about how to integrate them in our next video.